Welcome back to another episode on the Windsor Wednesday show. Today we have a great lineup, and I'm so excited to introduce the speakers on the show today. In the top right, we have Tony Vo. Tony Vo is a coordinator of student success initiatives. He's also completing his Master of Education degree at the University of Windsor. Glad to have Tony on the show. Down below, we have Emily Fraser. Emily is a fourth-year communication, media, and film, and also political science student, and also a University of Windsor Student Alliance senator. And then to the bottom right, we have Jay Lamont, University of Windsor alumnus, who graduated with the Bachelor of Computer Science program and is currently out in Los Angeles, California as a software engineer at Google. So I'm incredibly thankful for everyone who joined the show today, and I'm excited to talk a little bit about why each of the guests really enjoy the University of Windsor and its impact on their career at the University of Windsor as well. So thanks everyone for joining. The first question we're going to start with today talks a little bit about why did you decide to choose University of Windsor as the place to work or study? Tony, we'll kick it off with you.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. And welcome everyone. So just to begin, I'm also a proud graduate from the University of Windsor. I graduated from UWindsor with my Bachelor of Arts in Psychology back in 2018. So I've been in this role for about 2 years now as coordinator of student success initiatives for the Faculty of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. And one thing that I did realize during my time as a student, but also as a staff now, is that the University of Windsor has some great people. I've learned during my time as a student that I really enjoy networking as well as connecting with my professors, and now as a staff, that bond continues. I enjoy working with students in this current role, as well as the faculty and staff members. I personally would say, and this is from my unbiased opinion, that we have some of the best faculty and staff here at the University of Windsor. And it's quite a privilege to work alongside them every day. On top of that, we also have great students. So I work with every single, I would say, population within the arts, humanities, and social sciences, from first-year students to students who are graduating. And I enjoy working with them every single day. There are going to be days where it could be a challenge, but because my role deals with student success, seeing students become successful, it's worth it at the end of the day. So I really enjoy the people at the University of Windsor, which is why it is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite aspects of the university, and why I continue. Yep.
Yes, no, definitely. That's great to hear. And you're in the student success area. Talk a little bit about that. What can this initiative provide students on campus?
Because again, as I mentioned, I work in the Faculty of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. So I work in the student success portfolio. So a lot of my job deals with first year transition, helping grade 12 students moving into first year. So we're working with coming up with programs and initiatives to help our first year students. I work with students who are at risk. So students who might be struggling and they need that extra support, I'm there to help them out. And I also work with our Lead Scholars program. So when students about to graduate from the Faculty of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, they can earn themselves a medal based on how many categories that they accomplished during my lead program. So celebrating student success as well as supporting them is what I do, and it is a privilege to be in this role. I love working with every single student that I've had the opportunity to do so.
Yes, definitely. I've been seeing it all over your social media, just the experiences you're having with students on campus. It's great to see that impact it's had on you. So thanks for sharing, Tony.
No problem. Thank you.
Emily, I have to ask, why did you choose the University of Windsor as a place to study?
So I originally actually went to the Master's University at grade 12. I had this concept in my
Oh, Emily, I'm having just a bit trouble hearing you. That's okay. No worries. We'll jump back over to you. We'll switch over to Jay, and then we'll finish up the question here. So Jay, please share. Why did you choose the University of Windsor as a place that you wanted to study, and you graduated from there as well?
Yeah. So I actually had the opportunity to choose Windsor a couple of times in a couple of different ways. So in terms of choosing it to study, when I was in high school, I wouldn't say that Windsor was really on my radar at all. I was looking at some other institutions to attend. But being local, I had the opportunity to visit campus, check out the computer science program, meet some of the faculty and staff there, and was really impressed with just the quality of the program and, the resources that were available there. I was born and raised in Windsor, so being able to stay in my community and get an excellent education and, still be around my friends and all of my family was just a really excellent opportunity. That's one of the main reasons why I chose to study at Windsor. I also had the opportunity to work as part of the university as one of my co-op placements. Between my second and third year, I did an initial co-op placement in IT services with Arpa Smith and Mike Fisher, who are still employees of the university. And it was highly recommended to me by some of the other students who were part of the computer science program as an excellent first placement. And it really was. It was a fantastic learning experience where I got to apply a lot of the skills that I already had and develop some new skills, as part of my work placement. And then I also got to choose the university as sort of my first full-time programming job when I graduated from the university. And that was a really excellent opportunity because it allowed me to go back to IT services, a place where I'd already worked before. And, I had a lot of knowledge of the organization. I knew many of the employees there quite well, and actually got to work with some of the people who I worked with closely while I was a co-op student at the university. And it just presented an excellent opportunity to continue to be part of the university community, and was a great place to start my career off.
No, definitely. That's great. And it's awesome that your experience and the time that you were working in the IT department at the University of Windsor led to your current role today through gaining that experience. And I'm glad that you chose Windsor as home throughout your studies. Emily, we'll go over to you.
How am I now?
Good. I think you're good.
Okay, awesome. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So when I originally was in grade 12, I had this idea in my head that I had to run away to be successful. I had to go to Toronto, especially being in a media-based program. And I went away and I really just didn't enjoy it at all. So when I was considering what I wanted to do, if I should maybe switch over to college, if I should continue at a different university, what really stuck to me with Windsor, kind of going off what Tony said, is the faculty that I talked to were so willing to answer all my questions personally. At a lot of different places, I kind of got redirected to, well, we're having this event that you can come to, go visit here. And at Windsor, I actually went out to coffee with a few different profs that answered my questions one-on-one. And I got to just get to know them and see their face. And it really relieved me of any stress that I had with university. And it brought me a lot of peace going into my first year at UWindsor to know that I had faculty that was going to be there for me. So that's ultimately why I came to UWindsor after switching from McMaster.
Wow, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to jump into our next question here. And it says, how has the University of Windsor prepared you or is currently preparing you for the workforce? And we'll start with Jay down at the bottom.
Sure. So one of the biggest things that helped prepare me for the workforce was the work that I did, the placements that I had through the co-op program. So in computer science, you kind of have the option between going more of an academic route or going into a route that would take you into things like software engineering. And I was pretty sure from the beginning that I wanted to do software engineering. And the theory that you learn in the classroom is incredibly important because that theory underlies how you write good code, how you design good code, how you have knowledge of data structures, you have knowledge of complexity analysis. It's all very important stuff. But being able to translate that into, how do you work as a software engineer? How do you write code that other people can read? What's it like working on a team of other software engineers where you need to, work together and build a project as a whole? That's really something that for me, where experience was the best teacher. So as I mentioned, I had an opportunity to work at the university, get some experience there. Had the opportunity to work with Statistics Canada in Ottawa for a semester. That was an excellent opportunity. And I did a couple of semesters with Valiant in Windsor, which was, really the first serious programming job that I'd ever had, and probably, really confirmed to me that this was something that I wanted to do, and, helped give me the confidence to know that, yeah, I actually can do this, and I can see how my classroom knowledge can translate. So I'd say that was, a very key part of my education at Windsor, was getting that work experience before I graduated, and that served me very well.
Fantastic. No, it's great to hear. Thank you for sharing, Jay. Tony, interested to know, how is the University of Windsor currently preparing you, or has prepared you, now that you've graduated, for the workforce?
Well, I can talk to you from the student side, but also from the staff side. So from the student side, I would say that they provided me a lot of opportunities that I don't think a lot of other universities would provide you. So in the Faculty of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, there is a program called the Mentorship and Learning Program, where during my time as a student, I was a part of, where I was working with first-year students and helping them be successful and helping them with transition. That program kind of intensified my passion for education, which is now I'm in education, but working with students, helping them out, as well as ensuring that they're successful. That was the main idea of that program. And now, as you can see, it kind of translated into my role now as the coordinator of student success initiatives. Another program that had a huge impact on how it prepared me was a minor in the Faculty of Education called the Minor in Organizational Teaching and Learning, where you work with students, you learn different teaching and learning strategies that are outside the K-12 education system. And it really helped me understanding my leadership style, my management style, to be able to translate to who I am now as a coordinator. So after graduating, the university still has provided me a lot of opportunities, working with faculty and staff, working with students, as well as the connections that I get to build within this role. I get all the experience that I developed during my time as a student, but as now, I'm still working on it. But UWindsor has gave me the foundation to work with students and be helping them to be successful.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay.
Oh.
Emily, how is the University of Windsor currently preparing you for when you do graduate?
I think the biggest thing that the university has allowed me to do was add a second major in my second year and second semester. So I had 2 years left. I'm going into my fourth year, and I was able to add something completely on and find a whole new area of study that I was interested in. And there really wasn't any difficulty in the Faculty of Arts, Humanities, and Social Science. For communication, media, and film, there's only 3 required courses throughout your entire 4 years. So I already had a lot of room to try new things, and that space has allowed me to add a whole new field of study on, like I said, and it gives me the opportunity to find new perspectives when my area that I really enjoy is media regulation. So when I'm in communication, I see a whole different field compared to when I'm in a political science course. And that ability to flow between 2 programs so easily has really helped me in deciding my field that I want to go into when I go into the career.
Excellent. And our last question on the Windsor Wednesday show says, for students entering their first year of university, what is some advice you could provide them? And I know many students will be entering their first year this September, and it's going to be a bit different. It's going to be online. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to know, Tony, what would be some advice from a student success standpoint that you could provide students? Oh, Tony, you're on mute there. Perfect.
Okay, so I just finished a resource to send out to all the students within the arts. So this is actually really great. So I do have 4 advice I would suggest that all students to keep in the back of their head. So the first is that I would say students should be reading their course syllabus. So a lot of students may not know what is a course syllabus. But as a first year student, a course syllabus is basically your guide throughout the entire course. Having that syllabus there and be able to read the policy when your examinations are will help you with managing your time as well as prioritizing, which is the second tip advice I would give out. Students would have to start realizing that in university, it's all about prioritizing. So time management is a huge factor that a lot of first year students, especially who I work with, they struggled. So learning how to time manage, using your course syllabus as a guide will be very, very helpful. Another advice I would provide for students is that they should know what their learning style is. So if you're an auditory learner, you're a visual learner, you're a kinesthetic learner, because then you'll be able to tailor your studying style to that learning style. And the last is that if students are struggling or they need help, there are a lot of student services as well as resources available on campus. We again, as I say, we have phenomenal faculty and staff here who are able to help students whenever they need anything. So if any student needs any help, all faculty and staff are happy to be able to assist.
Thank you. That's fantastic, and 3 really great examples that I think it's something that I've been trying to follow, and I think many students going into their first year of university should follow as well. Emily, what would be some current advice that you could give to students entering their first year?
I think it again goes back to Tony's point. When you enter university, you really have to relearn how to study and the work ethic that you develop. It's very different to be lectured at for an hour and a half compared to what high school is. So don't be afraid to try new study habits, and don't be afraid to try different ones for each course. I've had profs that talk for an hour and 20 minutes straight, and it doesn't seem like they catch their breath ever. And for those ones, I always have my laptop in front of me and I just kind of type out everything they say. But for profs that are a bit slower and take breaths and pauses, I write out my notes typically. So really gauge what the prof is and find your style as you go. And I also think don't base everything off of rate my prof or your friend's opinions, I feel. I've had profs that I've absolutely adored that I was steered away from originally from some of my friends or people in the course previously. So I think it's good to just experience everything for yourself and take it as you feel like it would be, but not listen to everyone else.
Wow, that's a really, really powerful point. You can't just base it off of what your friends are saying, right? You really have to kind of, I guess, go into the classroom and figure it out the first time, because it's not always true online, for sure. So thanks for sharing that insight, Emily. Jay, I want to pass it over to you. What would be some advice you could provide some incoming students?
Sure. I think my piece of advice, and this would be true whether you're going to Windsor or any other institution, is that you'll get out of your university education what you put into it. And by that, I mean, you could just, go through university and just attend your classes and do your papers and write your exams and then graduate with a good GPA and then be done. But there's a lot more to the university experience than that. I've had the privilege of being able to go back to the university a couple of times as part of campus outreach events and get to meet with current students in the program, people who are kind of trying to, find their way, figure out what they want to do after they graduate, trying to figure out if maybe computer science is the right program for them or want to go into something else. And I've just been really impressed with the students that I've met going back, and just some of the extracurricular events that they're doing. The Computer Science Society, the people there that I was able to meet, put on like a lot of social events. They do a lot of code jams, programming competitions, a lot of tutoring hours, which are all excellent resources and great way to connect with other people in your program. The faculty and staff at the Computer Science department are just excellent. Being able to go back and see some of those professors again, some of the staff again, was a really special experience. So I definitely encourage people get to know the staff and the faculty in your department. As I think Emily and Tony can both attest, is that the people that work and are professors at the university are just excellent, and they're there to help you succeed. And so get to know them, and that can be a tremendous resource. And I think that advice is especially important going into a fall semester where you're not actually going to be on campus. Because if you're studying remotely, you're not just going to naturally run into events or encounter people. You have to be a little bit more proactive about reaching out and engaging with your peers and with your professors. So definitely take this opportunity, especially if you're going in the first year, to do that, and it'll serve you well throughout your studies.
Yes, what a great way to tie up this conversation. And you are exactly right, Jay. Being creative is going to be important for students going into the online fall semester, finding new ways to connect with different faculty and staff members virtually. So I'm excited to kind of tackle that new thing that students are going to be presented with, and finding new ways to interact digitally. So thank you for sharing, Jay. And thank you to the guest speakers that joined the Windsor Wednesday show today. I know you all took time out of your day to be on the show, so I really appreciate your time. And if folks that are watching have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the comments and we'll get back to them. And thank you for watching this episode of the Windsor Wednesday show.